Welcome back to our final game tonight. This is going to be a game, another ladder game, and a rematch game between our Blue Celestial Nina, aka Anna, and our Red Infernal Elf, aka 444, is apparently what I learned in the last one. Good luck, have fun. No fair, no fun. Infernal players in shambles. I love the banter between these two. You didn't win faster. Inferno P. So we must nerf more. It finally happened. The meme became true. Wow, I love these two. This is one of the reasons why I'm fans of both these players. They have a lot of fun with the game. They like to... It's almost sort of a trolly way to engage, but again, I just want to remind everyone that they love this game, both of them, and they both submit lots of good feedback, because at the top of the ladder, both of them, I almost spoke like Yoda but held back. Both of them are at the top of the ladder, and they so they experience the game at a different level than I do, which is smack in the middle of the ladder if I am, being kind of proud. Or down where I'm at, skill issues are usually the reason why you lose. But at their level of the ladder, where both of them are incredibly skilled, you often lose because of small imbalances in the game. And both of them have shared their opinions on imbalance with the Frost Giant staff, and some of their suggestions have actually been implemented. And we'll see if that continues to be the case. We have a third, and fourth collection array going down for Nina. This is a little bit more standard what I expect out of Nina. Do we have any units out? We have a creation chamber, but nothing's come out of it yet. It's just macro, macro, macro. Okay, the fourth one's not quite there. She's just waiting for those mittens. And there we go, of course. As soon as the Luminite hits. And another one. Morph Core at least moving across the map. Now it could be for some proxy play. But it's a little late for, well actually I don't know my timings for Celestial, but I've seen like Seraphim proxy be a little bit earlier than this. Now, ooh. So it is a proxy play. It's going to take a minute to get there. Let's see what she's going to do with it. Annoying little fiend in the main. Getting chased away by the Argent. Still got 20 hit points. And instead running around doing a little rotate harass. I'm going to do a little DPS on your one in the main, and then I'll do a little DPS on the one in the third. And make you run those slow Argents back and forth. They need some exercise. Are you going to be dead? Poor little fiend. Squishy squished. And another fiend moving across the map here with a little backup army. And it looks like trying to steal some of Anna's creeps. Which might as well. When your celestial opponent is being extra greedy and making a bunch of collection arrays and not a lot of Argents or other units, then that means they're not going to be out on the map creeping their creep camps. And before they can get those Argents out on the map to creep, which now we're starting to see, you might want to go out there and do that. Now we got these nice fiends. So again, I do think that these players have met each other a number of times on the map. On the ladder, because they probably know each other's styles pretty well. And yeah, Elf is like, there's got to be some hidden bases out here. I know how Nina plays. Let me go find them. And now these Argents are moving out, at least to take this vision camp. They might be... Yeah. Okay, I like that. Something I did not know, even after almost 500 games as an Infernal, that if you kill the farm, the Fellhogs all die. Now I learned that. Learned it today. So focus the farm. If you've got the DPS, don't fight the hog. All right, interesting little skirmish here. Units on the high ground coming down with an effigy, and the Argents trying to move back. A nice Nightfall infestation going down, capturing a few of them, and then some fiends coming out of some brutes. Ooh, I like that. It's trying to steal the healing cabbage, and now being chased back as more Argents are starting to come out of the proxy that was hidden here. So not proxied on the low ground like we saw the Morph Core heading. Instead proxied on the high ground while also chopping down some of these trees. The Morph Core probably had to do that ahead of time to make sure that the Argents can slip out. And this is now looking like a nice big Argent ball. Fiends out on the map. And it looks like some defensive structures are going down now, but these Argents are pushing up into the main, or sort of natural. And we got a Summon Shroudstone going down. The initial brute force that was tanking was taken out, and these Argents are on top of, oh wow, taking out almost all of the Gaunts, a few of them microing away. Now on taking out the Shroudstone. This is a pretty devastating blow to Elf's army. We're getting some more infest. That looks like what happened is we just got Plague Axes online. Infest going down on all of them. We have this Weaver just doing work and tanking hard. All the Gaunts go down, but the Fiends that they help produce from these Argents are now... Ooh, and a bunch of sacked Brutes to create a nice sea of Fiends, getting a nice surround, and they can no longer micro their way any further. Pretty good surface area on these Argents. These Argents are going to go down. These support Argents in the back are deciding, let's retreat back to some safety over here. And what is this Fiend Force going to do? The Weaver, of course, kind of slow, probably not going to try and do some harass, but the Fiend Force, nice and speedy. Maybe deciding, hey, I remember there was a base over here, and I remember I've done some damage to it already. I don't remember that much damage being done to it, but I do remember some more Fiends being pushed out. We do have a small force pushing out here. That's some interesting shadow effect that's going on there. I wonder what that is. They all turn kind of black. And we got the Sovereign's Watch and a lift up from that attack. I like this just hanging out, knowing that if you try and put yourself back down, you're gonna get killed. And we have an Argent coming out here, but these Fiends are ready to just jump right on top of it and be like, I'm sorry, buddy, you got summoned out of the wrong creation chamber. And this poor Argent is like, I'm gonna move to this place where you're gonna have no surface area, and then I'm just gonna move command into the wall. I'm gonna Blair Witch there, nose to the wall, and do nothing. And this is what we're talking about, low surface area. This is what these Argent, you know, they could fight off 300 Fiends this way. And this Argent ball now is the little defense force for this collection array. And more Fiends, these Fiends jumping around, jumpity jump jump. Of course, that's another one of those animations that I think when you for the first time you go to them, they jump around kind of silly. At least after they've been summoned. I like this Nightfall infestation, late game at least, trying to get some more Fiends out of these, although the DPS from the Fiends was too slow, and unfortunately none of the Shadow Massives going down, and no actual Fiends coming out of them. So that was a nice play, but unfortunately misplayed. This little Argent ball also having trouble with these Shadow Massives. These Shadow Massives are apparently the heroes of this game. But finally being taken out. And this Argent ball once again getting to dangerous looking size. This time, of course, Elf does have a pretty good force of her own. Not really up on her heels like she was earlier. I like this double vault here. That's for Kree run-bys, or any kind of run-by really, but Kree's being one of the bigger threats. And moving across the map, taking out this vision camp in the middle. Is she going to be aggressive against Nina's force? Now, Nina's Argent Scanner. Okay, Scanner is her special tech. Of course, Scanner's not being great against the force from Elf because they can't attack. But they can scan, so probably that's what Scanner's going to do. We still have this sort of secret base over here, but no collection array added to it for Nina, and a small bank starting to be added up for Elf, although Elf now spending it. What did she spend it on? More Spriggans. Spriggans. In fact, I've seen her use it now in 3 games in a row, so she must like the Spriggan changes. And now it's Spriggans and Fiends. But the poor Spriggans, oh, it's a double. But they do get the collection array, and then they scooch their way out of there. Elf's creeping force over here, taking out another camp. Spying what's going on over here with her skull. And the Argent's also getting back to some creeping on the Anna side of the map. Also with a split creep force. Something I think that I should be doing more, and I think that is definitely going to become more of the meta, is in the later game, especially when you have a larger army count. Split that army out, creep multiple camps at once, so when you're in that repopulation phase, where you're trying to go out and capture all the camps again, you can do it quicker, because you can get back to defense or harass or attacking or whatever it is that you're trying to do out on the map against your opponent. So these Spriggans managing to come over here. And this army, okay, so Argent's moving back. We have Legion Halls, okay, those are for Animancers. And we also have Star Forges for some sides, okay. We're getting a tech switch away from just pure Argent, which once the Infernal Army is starting to become more of a mixture of different units, there's going to be different ways to deal with that Argent ball, and you're going to want some AoE of your own, and that's where the Animancers, for instance, come in. Okay, it looks like map control has now been sort of ceded to Elf. With her Spriggans and her larger ball, she's sort of been able to go out and capture as many of these camps as she can. And Anna is, well, still able to creep on her side of the map, and now has a, well, medium-sized Argent ball with 2 Animancers added. And we do have Spriggans over here back on this base. This has been a hidden base for a while. We have sides coming to try and work on it, but managing to take out another collection array. Sides chasing them away now, but maybe not that far away. The Spriggans say, hey, we can turn and fight if you want. Focusing on the shielded one, and an invisible army popping up underneath with some nice Dark Prophecies. Wow, melting the Spriggans. The Spriggans turn to fight, but only one left, a couple more reinforcing. But luckily the army from Elf is nearby and is able to jump on top of this. The Argents now are being chased away, while these Scythes are also engaging a small number of Gonks. The Argents unfortunately have nowhere to go. They can keep running, but they have to fight this army. As they move up here, there's just no real estate up here that they can get chased into. They're just going to corner themselves, and perhaps the best option is to come down to this Static V, but at this point almost all the Argents have already been whittled away. So now the question is, what's Elf going to do? She's got a over 100 supply lead, and Nina, well, here we do have some Animancers, and Animancers, as we saw already, can be heroes. They took out, so they're going to take out these trees to allow units to escape. So there's that, but they also already took out a pretty good ball of Spriggans, and here's another ball of Spriggans. And they're really good at melting Gaunt and well, pretty much any unit if you stand underneath it. Or on top of it, or not sure. Storms are obviously an on top of thing. Miasma looks like it comes on the bottom. It's a puddle of goo. Prophecies may be right in your face. Who knows? Another little invisible strike force zipping around. This is one thing I really like about Nina's play, is she does this all the time. Like, I got Animancers, I'm going to be invisible. Why wouldn't I be invisible? I think it also gives you a speed boost. I might be making that up. But if you can move your army around invisible, so that if you accidentally run into your opponent on the map, you're invisible, isn't that better? And so she takes advantage of that a lot. She likes to make her whole units invisible and scurry around. And I think it's really good. We've got more fiends, and this is just a tremendous number of fiends. Running a cross-country circuit, it looks like. Yeah. They got to make sure they hit their waypoints, or else they're not going to be scored in the marathon. But now running into the static D, all on top of these strike modes. But the side's coming back, trying to add some DPS to these strike nodes. One strike mode going down, another one, not quite. Focusing the creation chamber is an interesting choice. Some of those poor fiends just, yeah, not being super helpful. And yeah, only maybe a couple strike nodes going down. Not the best harass in terms of getting some kind of return on that. But one thing it might have done is just give something for those fiends to do, because fiends do take up supply, and Elf is very close to being maxed. Now moving some static D out onto the map again as before, putting some of those shroud stones out so that they can spread the shroud and make it so those weavers and other units can be a little bit quicker. And Elf kind of happy to be in a contain here, and Nina's small little force here sort of sheepishly moving past the shroud stone and saying, okay, I'm out of here, turning invisible, running away. One Animaster unfortunately getting taken out. Another one, these lashes doing a great job. And now moving forward, sort of posturing on her ramps, deciding, do I want to take this fight or not? Trying to get Elf basically to commit up the ramp and into the static D. Elf also basically saying the same thing. You want to fight my static D, or you want to fight in yours? Well, but you come fight in mine. I'm going to put some shroud stones up. The cool thing that she's doing to almost all these shroud stones she's put up in the middle here, she's turned them into these wraith stones, which slow down the enemy units and also does some damage over time. So they are pretty effective, especially when supported by army. It looks like Nina's trying to get something out of her size, moving them around, finding these Spriggans, and Elf maybe not watching her units or thinking that the Spriggans are going to do a little bit better in that fight, sort of turn to fight, and now we have Shadow Flyers right in the middle. That was a really nice impact, but I guess these units are pretty invincible because, I mean, they're all really low, but that looked like 20 Shadow Flyers right with a good hit. You'd think that would be what you needed to take out that ball, but maybe you just needed a few more. It's also possible that Nina engaged her shields before that impact. I wasn't watching. I don't know if you can do that, or if that's something you can like trigger yourself. But if so, I think that greatly reduces the damage that's being dealt by the Shadow Flyer, making them not as important. Oh my, I'm sorry, I'm missing out on this with my cat. I'm under attack by my cat. So, I'm sorry for missing a little bit of this battle, but it looks like we have Brutes and Hellborn pushing up into the main. There's still a really nice defensive force out of Nina here, but I think she's being a little bit cautious not to lose it, and hoping that she can get some good Dark Prophecies with the Animancers. And I think maybe partly what she was doing there, noticing that it was just Brutes moving up, that she's waiting for a more of a full commit. And this extra base that she's put up here, lots of strike nodes, lots of Fiends coming in here. Doing alright, one strike node going down. The great SimCity, I mean, not the kind of Don Ilya walls of walls kind of SimCity, but Nina does do a pretty good job of keeping her strike nodes protected from this kind of run by, and sure enough, getting lots of kills on the Fiends and Brutes there. More Fiends here deciding, maybe I don't want to run in there. Let me hear back from my Brute friend, who's sadly just standing there dying. And now Spriggan's coming in. Okay, the Spriggan's deciding, well, let me just move command over there and then maybe take out some more of these strike nodes. Not the low one though. No, in fact, they look like they are focusing down the arc ship. Imps over here, I thought that might be another strike force. We have Fiends coming in here. More Scythes over here. So really good harass up here. Collection array is probably going to go down too, but Scythes managing to come on the scene to push them away. And we still have, it looks like, Micro of the Hellborns down here, taking out power banks and such in the natural. These Scythes, having to be called over here, are unable to go back and fight against the Hellborn, which they're of course really good against, since Hellborn can't hit air. But these Shadow Flyers now, having lured them, ooh, oh, very nice, very nice. We're going to get some more good Scythe Micro. Another Scythe coming out saying, hey, I love Shadow Flyers. Come give me a kiss. The Shadow Flyers retreating back now. Couple Fiends still taking out the lingering buildings over here. And now we got Archangels on the scene. Shadow Flyers coming in, trying to get a good hit. Ooh. Oh, it started out pretty good, but then, you know, kind of getting lured in three different directions. A couple sides going down, one low Archangel, but this Spriggan, well, one Spriggan, three Spriggans over here. They're just, yeah, not going to be a great match for this army. I'm not exactly sure how the Archangel's attack is in the air, if it's still an area of effect, if it's still that kind of line effect. But I certainly wouldn't want to get caught in that attack if I was a Spriggan. Shadow Flyers coming out with these Spriggans. Okay, Harass is going to continue. This Prism is not going in the right direction. I like the Micro of the Shadow Flyers to the back here, so if the sides do come in, they won't immediately just lure themselves in. And it looks like this force up on the natural has done a great job. And now we've got those Archangels finally coming back and doing those meteor strikes down. Enormous meteor strikes, leaving a nice area of effect through that upgrade. Melting a ton of Hellborn, it looks like. And now the Argent Force trying to push in more, but this is just almost all Hellborn. This is the kind of thing that I want to do. Mass Hellborn. And they're just doing a great job. They're, in fact, standing under the Dark Prophecy saying, I like it under here. It's like a warm shower. It's peaceful. This is what I love. And that looks like that's the end of the game. That's it for Nina GGing out of here. Another good game from Elf. And thanks a lot for watching. And stay tuned for more content.